There's an old adage, you never follow a hero or a dead man, and now I've got to follow Governor Walker. This is not going to go well, but I am really, really excited to be here today because I've read so many columns and newspaper stories recently saying that conservatives are muddled, they've lost their way, they don't know what they believe, and that's obviously not true. You just heard from 3 authentic, true conservatives, people I admire and respect so much. Governor Walker is just one of the finest governors our nation has ever seen. Sabrina Schaefer is an extraordinary individual. Dr. Larry Arnn is the president of Hillsdale College. My son goes to Grove City, so I'll say that Hillsdale is one of the 2 finest colleges in the country. But how do we know who we are to trust? My mom, who's sitting over here, once asked, who am I supposed to believe when I hear 2 people that I like say different things? It's hard to figure out what is authentic sometimes. I've got a friend who works at the Treasury Department, and he explained to me how the Secret Service is trained to determine what is a counterfeit bill and what's a real dollar bill. I was kind of surprised when my friend explained to me that the way to learn what a counterfeit bill looks like is by looking only at the real deal, looking only at authentic dollar bills. So day after day, week after week, these Secret Service agents look at bills. And eventually, in the training program, a counterfeit bill is slipped in. And when that counterfeit bill is slipped in, it's like a slap in the face. It just becomes so obvious and apparent. CPAC. We have been slapped in the face. There is a sinister organization that is trying to worm its way into our ranks, and we must not be duped. We must not be deceived. This is serious business. We have heard what conservatism is. We have to make sure we know what conservatism is not. Just a few years ago, this hate-filled, left-wing fascist group hijacked the very term alt-right. That term alt-right, it has been used for a long time in a very good and normal way. But this group has hijacked the term. And they did it intentionally because they want to deceive the media and they want to deceive you all about what they stand for so they can try to become normalized. And we must not allow them to be normalized. They are not part of us. They stole the term specifically to confuse us. We know who these people are. They met just a couple months ago in Washington, D.C. to spew their hatred and make their Heil Hitler salutes. They are anti-Semites. They are racists. They are sexists. They hate the Constitution. They hate free markets. They hate pluralism. They hate everything and they despise everything we believe in. They are not an extension of conservatism. They are not what Governor Walker and Dr. Arnn and Sabrina Schaefer have talked about. They are nothing but garden variety left-wing fascists. Now, some in the media are probably wondering, what do I mean by left-wing fascists? Just a quick little tutorial in political philosophy. On the right, you have more individual freedom and liberty and less intrusive government. On the left, you have bigger, more intrusive government, less freedom, less liberty. As conservatives, we know what we believe. At the American Conservative Union, you can't work for me if you can't define conservatism with these 9 words. I'm going to pause so you can take out your pens here. If you want to work for me, you got to get this down. Conservatism is the political philosophy that sovereignty resides in the person. That's where we begin. It's with this philosophy that you are born with all the rights you will ever have. Government can protect those rights and take those rights away. Government doesn't give you any rights. These other guys do not believe that. They do not believe in individual liberty or freedom. Fascists tend to want big government control to impose their will on you. Fascism is actually much more akin to socialism. I'm not going to get into the details now. It'd get a little boring. But left-wing fascists, hateful left-wing fascists are not like anybody here. So I just want to say, as I leave you, this group, this specific group that has hijacked a once decent term, they're not us, and the alt-right ain't right at all. Thank you.
Great job. All right, as I make my